Oh, don't say it's air. Bam, bam, bam. We're live. God, I hope that worked. Am I live? Internet feels so spotty. Mr. Chapman, good morning, sausages. Can you guys hear me okay? Good to see everyone. Neil, what's up, dude? Congrats on being a member. Rambler, Kenneth, good to see you guys. Good morning. Everyone hear me okay? Sound check. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It'll be good to get strong internet again when I'm back home. Wes was traveling yesterday. He just had the fight on March 7th. And then yesterday he was flying home. He had his fight in Vegas at the Fontainebleau Resort. So yesterday we missed him. And I think we got him this morning. 4-0 slap fighter. Very nice of him to come on. I'm pretty pumped. Buenos dias. Good sound. All right, good. Hopefully my connection stays good during the entire show. And I'm back on California time. Looks like we had daylight savings, or we unfucked daylight savings. I don't know which is which, but looks like California and Arizona are both on the same time, so my schedules are lining up. That's good. Jake, congrats on the second show, dude. Great job. You're killing it. I'm pretty stoked for you. Jeremy, hard to get into slap fighting. I don't watch a few rounds, dude. It's crazy. It's good shit. It's wild. It's wild. I'm excited that we're going to have Wes. Hey, dude.
Hey.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. Just
you're
getting the
home.
morning rolling.
And you're home in Atlanta.
Yeah. Am I holding this right? Do I need to turn it sideways?
That would be great if you could, but I don't want to cause you trouble.
No, you're fine.
All right.
There we go.
A great question, Rambler. Will pimps be good at slap fighting? I don't know if you can hit with the back of your hand. Anyone hit with the back of their hand, Wes?
I'm sorry?
Does anyone hit with the back of the hand? Anyone give the pimp slap?
Oh, actually, there's a video of one of the guys actually training that. It's funny. Nah, but you can't do that.
Hey, is your last name Mena or Mena?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Say your last name for me. Is it
Mena?
Mena.
Yes, sir.
And what are you? What's your ethnicity? What's your background?
So I'm Dominican. I speak fluent Spanish. I'm born in Boston, raised in Atlanta, but yeah, I'm Dominican. Parents are from Dominican Republic.
Okay. Are you first generation?
No, third.
Third. Okay.
Yeah.
And both your parents are still Dominican?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
A big Dominican population in Boston?
There's a big, actually there is, because we're right next to New York. So New York, there's a big Dominican population. But there's a Hispanic population, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans out there. I'm like north of Boston. It's a small city called Lawrence, Massachusetts.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's crazy. When I think of Boston or Massachusetts, I just think of just white ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like upset white ladies.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Oh, it's good. I'm glad it's I'm glad it's broader than my stereotype. I'm in Arizona, but normally I hail from Santa Cruz, California, but I'm just here traveling right now.
Oh, nice. I'm about to say, okay, I got a buddy that's out there, plays for the Cardinals.
Oh yeah, I just drove by the stadium yesterday. Crazy stadium.
Yeah. I haven't been there yet. He wants me to come.
Do you do security work for that guy?
Yeah, bodyguard work. Yeah. If you heard of Mac Wilson?
No, but I don't know baseball at all.
Oh, okay. No, he's a football player.
Oh, okay. And I saw him on your Instagram.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yep.
And you do bodyguard work for him too?
Yes, sir. I have over like 25 NFL clients, so I work with a lot of NFL guys when I'm not slapping people.
Mostly in Atlanta, so when they come to town, you're the guy they call?
Yes, sir. Either that or sometimes like they'll go out the country. They need me as a translator. I was in Mexico not too long ago. So like stuff like that, could be an asset for them.
Hey, I like it. We're in that era of hustling. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
have to get in where you fit in. You have to find someone was saying the other day, like, hey, the most important thing you can teach kids is skills, because AI is going to be doing everything for everyone, but basically you have to make skills. Like, don't worry about the studies as much as like getting skills, learn a second language, be
Yeah.
able to bake bread, do something. That's crazy. Was Spanish your first language? Did you speak it before you spoke
Well,
English?
the crazy thing is, like, my family, they all speak really good fluent Spanish. My second language would have to be Spanish, because my parents got divorced at a young age when I was young, so my mom ended up marrying this guy that's just spoke English. So
Mm.
like I struggled a little bit in my childhood years, but then I got better as I got older. But yeah, second Spanish would be like my second language in a way.
Similar to me, Armenian was my first language, but when my
Uh-huh.
parents got a divorce at a young age, uh, wasn't around people who were speaking Armenian all the time, and it slowly went away, and just English became my dominant.
Oh wow. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
my dominant
Yeah,
language.
man.
Hey Wes, I was watching the fight. By the way, congratulations, 4-0. You're a bad dude. Good
Thank
job.
you, man. Thank you. It was a man 5 day notice. They flew me out the next day.
And that was a scary guy. That was a lot of man you fought with.
Yeah, yeah. It's Aaron Turner. He's 6'7", 263 pounds. Yeah, he was a big boy. He was a big boy.
And what is the max for when you go up to heavyweight? Is that 265?
265. Anything over 265 is considered super heavyweight. And those guys are like walking around 340, 350, 380. So yeah, I stay at the heavyweight range. Anything between 206 to 265.
And your body's gone through quite the transformation. It looks like you used to be over 265. What
Yeah,
happened?
I was close to 400 pounds. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. If you look at my Instagram, you'll see all those pictures of me doing bodyguard work. And I was just a big guy, man. I was walking around so unhealthy. Um, yeah, man. I was walking around unhealthy. And it was just because I was doing a lot of the bodyguard stuff, working it late at night with clients and then eating late at night. And it's just like overall it's just the money was good, but it was just my health was deteriorating. And so like it got to the point where like, hey, I'm walking around and I could potentially have a walking heart attack. I'm a walking heart attack. So at that point I had to make a life-changing decision. I had to go ahead and lose that weight, you know. By the grace of God, I lost the weight. I lost 160 pounds. The max I was at 400 pounds or 398. I was at 398. And then now I'm walking around 235. I feel great, healthy. I can fit into clothes. I went from a waist size 54 to a 32. It was very unhealthy. I was high blood pressure, high cholesterol. All the health related problems were really bad. So at that point, my mom was like, "Hey, you know what? I am not going to bury my son. Let's go ahead and go to Mexico and go get this weight loss surgery." And I ended up going to getting a weight loss surgery in Mexico. And it was probably the best decision I ever made in my life. Looking back, I wish I would have just done it sooner.
What was the
So
surgery that you had?
yeah, man, I was very unhealthy. I was so against it because I was like, "Hey, mom, I'd rather just lose it the normal way." In
Uh-huh.
a way, I'd rather lose
Uh-huh.
it the normal way. Um, but the normal way was just like not going anywhere. I was still eating unhealthy. I'd go to the gym, but I wasn't progressing. So I ended up just getting a gastric sleeve. And that's probably the best decision I ever made in my life. We could be talking right now and I could just be dozing off. It's just so unhealthy. Out of red light, doze off. I could just choking in my sleep. I was so unhealthy. So that's why nowadays I just eat clean. I eat healthy for the most part, and I never and it's just another refresh. It was like a restart in my life. I feel like I wasted the last 7, 8 years of my life just because I was big. You know, but
What
now
is
it's
the
just
gastric sleeve? What is Wes? What
so
is
a
the
gastric sleeve is basically they go inside and they cut 75% of your stomach off and they actually sew it back up. So in that process, so you know how you give baby food?
Yeah.
Typically, so let's say your stomach is like a balloon. So when they do that surgery, then your stomach becomes from a balloon to damn near smaller than my palm of my hand. So now you can't consume as much food as you used to. So now your body just naturally starts getting smaller and smaller and smaller. You lose weight over time. And that was, like I said, that was the best decision I ever did in my life. And that, looking back, like, I'm just so grateful, bro. And then now I can eat, and now I'm to the point where I can eat anything now, because before, when I first had the surgery, they had to put you on a diet. You can't have to stay away from sugar. You know, your body can't. So basically, they just eliminate your hunger hormone. So like when I had that surgery, I didn't even want to look at food. Like food was so disgusting to me. So then I would just eat like chicken broth, water, vitamins, and protein. Like protein, protein, protein. Stay away from sugar. Stay away from salt. I was just on a healthy, clean diet. They made me go through a packet, and at that point, like the first maybe 3 months, I didn't even want to look at food. I'd get so full quick. It was just a blessing. And then I naturally just every day started losing weight. I started losing 2 to 3 pounds a day.
Wow.
Like it was crazy. My face was getting smaller. I actually have a neck now.
Yeah,
Like,
you look totally different. You look totally different.
yeah, man, it's a complete game changer, and it's just I feel healthier, I feel lighter, like it was a complete changer, man. And looking back, I just wish I've done it sooner, and then I've had maybe like four other people just do the same surgery. Now they look fantastic. They look back and like they were saying the same thing. Look, oh, I wish I would have done this sooner. But it's the best decision I ever made in my life, the best investment I made in my life. Forget just how I look, it's more of the health.
Mm.
So I don't have none of the health problems at all. I take no medicine. I
Oh,
feel
congrats.
great. I'm healthy, and I still eat clean to this day.
You don't have to take any meds after the surgery, like lifelong meds that help you absorb nutrients
So
and
they
things?
did. They really just want you to take vitamins, just your vitamins. So I just take my normal vitamins every day, and that's pretty much about it. Because I've had high blood pressure, high cholesterol. I was on all high blood pressure medicine. I was doing all that, and I don't have to do that no more because my levels are all normal again. It's like I literally took a whole human being off
Yeah,
my
yeah.
body. You
That's how much
know.
I weigh. I weigh 160.
Yeah, yeah, I lost about 160 pounds.
Yeah, that's wild. And you're 6'1", you said?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Uh, CrossFit Dwala. Wes is my dude. Only wrestler I was scared of in high school. Wow, small world. You
Awesome.
you wrestled in high school?
Yeah, I wrestled in high school. I did. So my the first year I've ever did wrestling was my eighth grade year. I got undefeated in my eighth grade year, and then I transitioned to the high school. Then when I did that, I was just all about football and wrestling, and I did high school wrestling that I was so successful very early on. I was just beating guys left to right. I just blast double them and then just win the smash in seconds. And then I started beating people that were state placers, and then I just got better every year. Then my senior year was a little bit of a disappointment, but junior year I should have been a two-time state champion. The guys that won state are guys I've beaten during the season. So it was just a mentality thing. Sometimes I wasn't really focused, but for the most part, I was there. My junior year, I ended up getting third in the state.
In
Um,
Georgia? In Georgia?
in Georgia, yeah, yes, sir. And then my senior year, I ended up like not even. I don't even think I placed because I was just so focused on football at the time, and I wasn't really focused, and I have no one to blame but myself. But I was ranked. I was picked to win state 2 years in a row, and I just fell short of that. But looking back, it was a great experience. I wrestled, did football, I did weightlifting. I went first all region in my senior year. I did weightlifting. I got all region honors. Got first in my region. I didn't even end up going to state. I was supposed to go to state, and I didn't even have like a transportation at the time to even go to, because the high school. I would think that, hey, they can take you over there, but they didn't take me, so I just didn't even end up going to state and participating. I remember that. But I was always an athlete. Football was like my love, and that's what I did.
What was your weight in wrestling?
I was 265. I was heavyweight.
Oh,
Or
so you were big in
275.
high
It was
school.
it was like 275, I believe, or 285.
So
back
you've
in
been
the
big
day.
your whole life until recently. You were big your whole life until recently.
Yeah, I was big my whole life. I was the tackle. I would play football and wrestling, so I was always around the 285, 290 range, 275 range, and I was a fast, strong. I was like a mini me Aaron Donald. Like I was small, but I was strong and fast.
Hey, you said something interesting. I was actually thinking about this morning.
Uh-huh.
You said that you about your wrestling, maybe where you fell short, you weren't focused. Did you ever, or maybe you were holding back in slap fighting? People always talk about the guy being hit flinching.
Yeah.
Does any part of you not want to hit a guy as hard as you can? Is that something that's hard to overcome? Is it hard giving yourself permission because you're staring at another human being, you're staring at a brother, and you have to slap him? Is there any party that like struggles with that part?
You keep breaking up.
I'm sorry. It's
No.
all my fault. It's all my fault. I'm at some fucked up location. I sincerely apologize. Do you ever have trouble hitting someone, like letting go and giving yourself permission because you're staring right at your brother? And is that part hard? I know everyone's always like, "Oh, the flinching must be hard not to do," but I was thinking, man, it must be hard to just hit a man as hard as you can, knowing he's not going to defend himself.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's at the end of the day, hey, I signed a contract like he does. It's business and it's us, all that matters. It's nothing personal. So it's just like I'm there to do a job, and it doesn't bother me to slap anybody. Like I have no problem doing it. Hey, that's what I'm there for. I'm there to receive and take a slap at the same time because hey, we're getting paid to do that. So yeah, it's a different mentality. You gotta have that drive in you because this is not for just anybody. You can't just walk in here and think, hey, I can just easily slap anybody. First of all, you have to have a chin. If you don't have a chin, you're not going to last long in this sport because anybody can have power and slap anybody, but can you receive a slap? That's what you have to ask yourself. Just imagine somebody slapping you with all your might, with all your force into a slap. And even before I got into this, I didn't even know you can slap somebody out to the point where you get knocked out. And
Mm.
that was an eye opener for me. And I got humbled real quick. My first match, this guy named James Seekman, he ended up knocking me out, but I ended up winning my match because he ended up stepping and clubbing. And those are no-nos in the slap world. You can't do that. So I ended up winning the match by disqualification. And that's how I am right now. I'm undefeated now. And it was a learning lesson. I got real humbled real quick. And it was my first match ever. But looking back, it's a great experience. Being on with Dana White's Power Slap, being able to meet Dana and all those guys. Like I was just in Vegas. I was able to meet Kobe Covington, Alex Pereira. I'm over here in the UFC Apex, the UFC PI, Kamaru Usman, Kobe Covington, Alex Pereira, Forrest Griffin, Shell Sonnen, to what's his name, Michael Bisping. All those guys are great, phenomenal guys, and then being in the same building and just watching those guys train and being able to be in the building because we're under contract with the UFC and Power Slap. So it was so cool. It was a real moment for me just this past weekend to see all those guys and being able to have access to the facility anytime I'm in Vegas. That Power Slap thing is just life changing. It's changed my life for sure.
Do you, so you have no problem. You can just let it go. You get up there and you never catch yourself like not swinging as hard as you can.
Yeah, no, I if man, I'm there to take your head off. I
Yeah.
love the violence of it. I'm there to freaking because I don't I have nephews in my family. I don't want them to see me getting knocked out in front of millions of people live,
Yeah.
or on social media and whatnot. So I'm there to do a job. I'm there to take your head off, man. So yeah, I have no problem doing that whatsoever.
Tell me about tell me about the first time you ever slapped anyone. I'm guessing it's the kind of thing you don't get to practice. That it's like
Y-
you can practice on like inanimate objects, but the first time you slap a guy as hard as you can has to be in the actual event.
Yeah, so the first time, so yeah, so I was on Dana White's Road to the Title season 3. So I got selected for a casting call and I didn't know like, hey, they're selecting me to be on the reality TV show. So I got a call back. They flew me out of Vegas. They put me in a house of this big mansion with like 30 other guys, all different weight classes. They paired us up, and I was able to finally have my first experience in front of Dana White, and being able to slap somebody, man. It's not as easy as you think. You know, you can slap somebody, but to the point to where they knock out, it's like poetry in motion. You gotta learn the mechanics. You gotta learn the science behind it. There's so much into just slapping somebody. You're not just going on stage and slapping somebody. It's really a science to it. Just the mechanics, the twitching, the rotation of the hips, just the power. You're developing your chi energy into a slap. So all your energy into a slap, and you got to learn how to manifest it. You can't, like, when you're given a slap, you can't lift up your feet. There's rules in it. There's so many things that you have to keep in factor. But when I got on stage and I was able to slap somebody, it was a beautiful thing, especially when I got my first knockout. I was like the best feeling. I was like, okay. Once I got my first knockout, I was able to, okay, I can do this. I can do this. And I was just developing my confidence. Now looking back, I love what I'm doing. It's a great thing, and I have no problem slapping anybody.
You guys aren't allowed to flinch, and eventually I will play this clip. You had a crazy, your last match was wild. You got poked in the eye pretty severely. A guy flinched and came forward, and it wasn't your fault, but because he flinched and came forward, it looked like maybe you might have broken your thumb and you had to switch hands.
Yeah.
But before we get to that, is there a how do you take the slap? Like, are I know you're not allowed to flinch, but do you stay tight or do you go loose
Yeah.
and try to
So
go with it?
now,
What's the strategy?
yeah. So the strategy, it's simple for the most part. The only thing you can do is flinch, and that's the worst thing you can do. Just think about your health meter. Like when you're up there on stage, just
Mhm.
think of it. You have 100% health meter. Every time you get hit, your health meter goes lower and lower and lower. Especially if you flinch. If you flinch, your health meter gets dramatic because if you flinch, I have to hit you again.
Mm.
So yeah, just taking that slap, man, that takes a lot out of you, bro. And looking back, like, I hate that like my opponent ended up like flinching just
Yeah.
because, I injured myself, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I ended up hurting my thumb, and that happens a lot. So when you're up there on stage, you have to clinch tight. You can't bring up your shoulders. Some guys like to bring up their shoulders, but they're to the point where like you have to bring your shoulders down. You can't bring your shoulders up. Cause yeah, right there, like that right
I
there,
mean, he
that
went
hurt me
forward
so
two
bad.
inches.
I'm actually getting treatment as we speak. Like I got an appointment this morning. So thank God nothing broke. But you can, as a striker, like me hitting you and you flinch, I can injure myself. We already had a guy broke his hand on the TV show because the guy ended up actually it wasn't even he ended up breaking because we did a slap combine and he ended up hitting his hand. So like he ended up fracturing his pinky or so. So then what you have to do is just with power slap, you have to be ambidextrous. You like I said. So when I injured myself, I had to use my left hand, which is my weak hand. So it doesn't have that same amount of juice that my
Right.
other hand has. So yeah, man. So that's something I had to experience, and that's I hate when people flinch because it's like, hey, you got to be there. Take it like a man. Don't flinch. You know. But it happens. My guy was more so like it was his second match ever, and they had a lot of hype behind him, and so he ended up flinching. So yeah, I ended up injuring my hand, man, and it sucks. It sucked so bad.
Were you concerned? And so this guy flinches like 2 inches forward. Do you,
Yeah.
as you're swinging, do you actually see him flinching?
Yeah, like I catch it at the last second, and then especially like when I hit him, then like when I hit him in the back of the head, it's like, oh shit, that's not his chin, it's like the back of his skull. Like
Yeah.
that actually hurts even more, especially like the momentum, my energy is just going towards that one area, and then it's just like you're hitting a brick wall when you're hitting the back of the head. So that hurts. This swelled up like a balloon. It's going down now. Thank God. I've been getting treatment, but if you don't if that striker hits you, you can potentially break the striker's hand. And if I wanted to, I could have stopped the match and won by disqualification. But me knowing myself, I'm not gonna go out that way. I want to finish the match and go out 100% with all my effort. But yeah, man, you can injure yourself if that person flinches. They can go forward, flinch, or even if they go backwards. You know, I can miss myself and freaking probably pull something. Like it's really strict. They're really strict on the rules, and they're getting tight on the rules. But for the most part, yeah, man. Thankfully, it was nothing broken. Um, it was just more of like it's just swelling. But yeah, I had to use my weak hand, and so when I used my left hand, it was just not the same amount of power. But now looking back, it's like okay, now I know what I need to work on because if a situation like that happens again, I'm gonna have to use my left hand, and it has to be at least just as strong. So that's something I will go back after I'm done getting healed. I will go back to the drawing board and work on my left hand.
And how much had you been working on your left hand when they told you to switch? Were you panicking? I noticed normally, if I saw correctly, you would go on one with your right hand, but I
Yeah.
noticed when you went with your left hand, I think you went on three, and it looked like you doubled down on the focusing.
Yeah, so even just on that itself, like first of all, my opponent's 6'8", 6'7".
Yeah.
So that in itself, it was just I had to adapt to his height. You know, I've never went against anybody that size in slapping. So like when I went against him, I had to change my strategy. I really if you go back on my matches, I never go on one. I've always been on three. But if I went on one, being that he was tall, I had to make sure I had to scoot up into the podium and get closer to his face because he was so tall. So
Yeah.
I was worrying about losing the power. So if I went on three, I was more so worried about the placement because he was so tall. But if I went on one, I was able to just get a little bit closer and then just launch him into another realm if I just went on one. Because if I that's something I just didn't want. If I went on three, to be honest, I felt like I was gonna miss the placement on the chin. I didn't want to do that because I don't want to hit up him up here. I don't want to cause a foul, cause a club. You know, so I was just mainly doing it on one just so I can just really get it out the way and just have that muscle memory. You know, if I had that muscle memory of where his chin's at on one, I don't have to like refocus myself on going on one and then two and then three. I felt like I would have misplaced him if I went on three just because he was so tall and I'm not used to that height. So that's the only reason why I went on one.
And here, the doctor's talking to you. What does he say to you? Do you say, does he, why does he come over? Does the Crazy Hawaiian
Oh,
say, hey, my boy's injured? Or why does he
no,
come
no,
over?
that I told because I believe they have speakers on there. At first my opponent he hit me on the eye, but then when I injured myself, I'm like, hey, I can't go with my hand. I'm injured. Like I'm injured. They're like, okay, well you have two choices. The doctor and a referee came up to me and they're like, hey, if you feel injured, you know, you can pull out, you know, for the most part, and you can win by disqualification, or you can use your left hand. And knowing me, I'm ambidextrous anyway. So I was like, you know what? It's my weak hand. I'm gonna suck it up. I'm gonna go ahead and knock this guy out with my weak hand. And I, sure enough, I went and attempted to try to do that. It wasn't as strong. And looking back, you could see like my thumb was just destroyed on that strike because he launched his head forward, and it really hurt me. So that's when I had to make that decision. Like, hey, I'm not gonna give up on this. I don't want to win by disqualification. I want to go ahead. I'm gonna suck it up. I'm gonna go ahead and use my left hands, and I'm gonna try my best. You know, and then that's what I did.
This is a great question. Can you lose consciousness and not suffer a concussion? What's the deal with concussions? Can you get knocked? If you get knocked out, does that mean you had a concussion?
That's a good question. For the most part, so if you look back on my matches, like actually my previous match, my last match before this one, I actually knocked the guy out, but he had like I'm gonna say like a flash knockout because I was able to hit him really hard to the point where he stumbled and fell backwards, and then he was able to be conscious like right away. But in that moment, I believe when I slap somebody, it's like you're taking a wave of energy and you're spiking up your brain, and it's like you lose consciousness for that quick second. And then because I got knocked out before and it was bad. So like when I hit my opponent, he immediately fell, and it was like more of a flash knockout. So I could say he was knocked out, but maybe not as concussed, as maybe the match even before that. He fell down right there, and you could tell like he was knocked out, like he was dazed, he was dizzy. and then you can see he fell backwards right there, and then he regained his conscious, but he wasn't able to enter that 10 count. And once the referee calls it like, hey, you can't continue, it is what it is. You can't continue because hey, you lost consciousness for the most part. It was like a flash knockout.
Hey, does it feel like a good hit when you hit this guy? Or are you like, ooh, God, I got him?
Yeah, and you know what? I didn't even hit him with all my power. Like I was like 60, I was at least 60% of my power just because I felt like I was a little bit too far away. I didn't get For me, I didn't get good positioning, but I ended up knocking him out. It was a good knockout. Um and looking back, if I feel like if I would have gotten a little bit closer to the podium and did the same thing, he would have been literally on the floor, still knocked down, But yeah,
Hey,
man, that was a great experience.
something else I noticed is at the end here, it looks like you slap them and then push them, and then sometimes they just like clean slaps. Do you know what I mean? Like, is there
Yeah,
something different going on here that I don't know? Because it's like a slap and then you always follow. Like, if I were to slap someone, I feel like it would just like slap and my wrist would go limp, but yours stays firm and then pushes through.
yeah. So like they're trying to dumb down on like a few people's slaps and whatnot because at first people, if you even look at my comments on there, people are like, "Oh, he's a palm striker." Da da da. No, I'm within the rules. It looks like I'm palm striking you, but I'm simultaneously hitting you with 3 points of contact with your hand. So when you slap somebody, you have to have 3 points of contact with your hand. So you have your palm, the middle of your hands, and your fingers. You have to hit them all simultaneously at the same time. But I've mastered that technique to where, like, when I hit you, it looks like almost a palm strike, and then I'm doing it from a short distance. I'm not elongating in a way. Um, so when you
Meaning
see those
you don't
comments, they're
rotate as much as the other guys.
correct, correct.
Yeah,
I mean, I
I was
still
noticing.
rotate, but
Yeah.
they're bringing it out more. I'm more of a short distance type of guy.
Okay.
So like, I'm still
So
they
you're
might
keeping
be.
it close to yourself more. You're not like out here getting you're keeping it in. Like kind of like you see those fighters inside.
Yeah, yeah. I'm keeping it in just a little bit for the most part, but not to the point where it's like a palm strike, like I'm just leading, like if I'm like hooking you or something. Not to that point, but I'm still giving a that's still good balance. It's kind of tight, it's kind of close, but it's still within the rules. And then being with Aaron Turner, being that he was so tall my last fight, I couldn't do that because he was so tall. So I had to like in a way change up my form, change up my strike, and it was just I had to adapt because he was so tall. But for the most part, yeah, man. Yeah, that guy was tall, man. He
And
was
there you can see because he flinched forward, you only got 1 point of contact, and that was around the thumb and the palm.
correct, correct, and that's when I injured myself because he knew I had that knockout power. Like I'm fresh off of Abu Dhabi and Saudi Arabia, back to back knockouts. He knew I had the power. Everybody knew I had the power to knock anybody out. Um, but being that tall and then he's flinching, that I injured myself, and then that's what killed me and hindered my performance because I wasn't able to get a good, really good, clean or not a good clean strike, more of like a knockout. I wanted to knock this guy out, but he flinched. He was a rookie, you know. Good character guy, good guy. Aaron Turner, he's a phenomenal human being, by the way. But for the most part, when you're a rookie, those mistakes can happen. That's why I don't really like going against guys that are maybe one fights, two fights in. I'd rather go with somebody that's, at least been in the game 3, 4 fights in at least so they know what's experience that. And you could see like it wasn't the same when I striked with my left. It was not the same juice. So that's something I have to look back, go back on tape and restudy, you know?
Yeah, like this one doesn't have that pushing. This one is just a straight bitch slap. You know what I mean? Like it's got the complete follow
Yeah.
through. That other one has like the push through.
Yeah, so like that form was I was so uncomfortable with my left.
It
I've
looked good,
practiced with my
dude. It
left
looked
before,
good.
but I've
It looked good.
yeah, I mean,
You
it's
didn't
just
look
like I said,
goofy.
it
It,
didn't
it
have
didn't
that
look like
same
it was a
power.
girl throwing a ball or anything. I mean, it looked good.
Yeah. Thank God. But I mean, it's a learning lesson. It's something I have to go back and look at the tape. And I look and it's something I've told myself, hey, I can work on different levels because everybody's gonna be, for the most part, everybody in the heavyweight division, they're pretty much taller than me. They're like 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", average. And now I can work on different levels of height. You know, I can take the tie pad, and I can work different levels of every person's height now. And then not only that, work with my left hand, because I don't want to be in a championship fight where it's 5 rounds instead of three, and then I injured myself, and then I have to use my left. That's the last thing I want to happen. So now I don't have to go back and work on that.
Um, um, when you Wes, when you let's say you're riding your bike, let's say you're riding your bike and you crash, and when you
Uh-huh.
crash, like you hit the ground on your bike, and then you take a second, you're like, okay, and you kind of, you know what I mean? You do a body
Yeah,
scan, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
in a fight, when guys are fighting in the UFC or just in a street fight, you don't have time to do that. You're just taking punches, returning punches, and
right.
you don't have time to do that body scan. I was just watching Eric Turner. When you slapped him, it looks like you're only going to get hit once, and then it looks like you kind of do a body scan. You're like, okay, it looks like he was like, okay, I'm still here. I took that. Is that what it's like? You get slapped, and then you're like, you do a quick fucking data check, like a scan.
Yeah, it's like you feel it in a way, like instantly. So when you get slaps, you can feel that you're either gonna get concussed, or your health meter went down, or you just took the slap and then you ate it. You know, it's either one of those three. So with Aaron, I think on the second hit, I believe, or second round or so, I believe he hit me to the point where I stumbled, but they noticed it, but like I tried to hide it. But you can honestly, when someone slaps you, you can simultaneously just feel it. And then even with my first match, when the guy knocked me out, it's like it was a complete shock. It was like your lights went off. It's like you on and off switch. It's like my lights went off, and then I'm like struggling to get up, and it's crazy because I could be talking to you right now and I'm listening coherent, but then when you get knocked out, it's like the whole room is like to the left. And it's like, oh shit. Like, and then you're stumbling because it's like you're trying to keep up because it's a crazy feeling
Do you
just
want to
getting knocked
throw up?
out and
Does it make you want to
concussed.
feel like is it like having vertigo where you want to throw up? It's like being drunk. You know when you get drunk in high school or in college and you got to put your foot out the side of the bed to stop the room from spinning? Is it like that?
Yeah, it's like that, bro. It's like that.
And then
That's a
does it go away before you're next up? Do you get
Yeah,
time?
so
Like, do
like
you,
so then they give you a recovery time. So within that few 30 seconds or so they get whichever they give you, like you try to refocus. You want to try to refocus because it's like, okay, I took a slap, but like I said, your health meter went down. So like when now I'm about to give a slap. So now that same juice might not even be there just because I'm like a little bit
mm.
more drained and a little bit more concussed. So it's like, yeah, you want to get slapped, eat it, and then if you don't feel it, then great. That's a great feeling. And then you just suck it up, and then you go and launch that guy. But being knocked out, bro, it kind of sucks. Because it's like you're not in a state of like where you're at right now. It's hard to explain, but like when I got knocked out, it felt like the whole room was shifted to the side, and I was just trying to catch myself in a way. But great experience. I don't want to ever feel that again. So that's why I just try to focus more on my strikes, focus on everything, so I can just be better, and just knock these guys out because you don't want to be in the end of getting slapped by one of these guys that are so much bigger than you, especially if they're 20, 30 pounds heavier than you know. But yeah, man, it's different.
Uh, um, you know, there was a fighter named Luke Rockhold.
Yeah,
Uh, Great fighter, but towards the end of his career, it started looking like he was getting a glass jaw.
yeah.
Eh,
That can definitely happen in power
Can that
slap.
happen in slap? Yeah, that can. Like
Yeah.
like you can only go down so many times before. What is that? Does something get loose in the neck, or is it just what is that causes that? Do you know that? It makes it so you're more
I'm
susceptible to
honestly
going out.
just because there's been guys that got knocked out bad, and now we don't I haven't seen some of these guys ever again, because power slap, they're we look at long term. Like, I'm in here for the sport. I'm in here for 2 to 3, 4, maybe 3 years at the max. That's like my goal. I want to stay here long as much as I can, but then I want to get out because long term, this is not good for you. I probably will have long term effects, but hey, that's the decision I signed up for. That's the decision I made. But for the most part, when I get on stage and I get slapped, I mean, I'm fine for the most part. Even if I get concussed, I mean, I'm fine. That's just the decision. That's just like if a boxer they box in a fight and then they're taking shots to the head. It's almost the same thing, in a way. Mind you, you're ducking and whatnot. We're not. We're actually taking that to the face. We're not ducking, but yeah, man. I lost confusion. What was that question again that you said? That
Just
was I don't know if I
basically,
answered it.
you answered it basically
Uh,
that the more you get knocked out, the more easy you agree with that probably the more likely it is that you will get knocked out in the future. The glass jaw is a real thing.
Yeah, that's was a real thing because, like, my last opponent before Aaron Turner, he's got knocked out consecutively twice in his last two fights, and I doubt that they'll probably ever call him back again. Because they give you a stipulation in your contract. You can have a 6 fight deal, but then, if you get knocked out bad, they might not even hit you up ever again. Because they have 6 fights, or let's say like my contract is 6 fights or 30 months. Whichever comes first is the end of that contract. So they might just hold you out until them 30 months, and then you might not even slap again because they're just concerned that you just can't take a slap. So yeah, the glass dog for me, I think it's a real thing. You can get hurt if you just don't have that chin inside you, that dog inside you. So it's not for everybody. Like I said, it's different strokes for different folks. But for me, I love the violence. I love what I do. It's different and it's on the rise. We're only getting bigger, and we're eliminating the people that are just like now you're starting to see more athletes into power step. We're not just getting couch potatoes, guys that are just off the couch. Now you're starting to see more athletes. You see Pace Van Zant. You see, these former UFC fighters, these people actually, buying into power slap, and it's a great thing. I love power slap. Just the opportunity has already it's provided me a platform, and I'm grateful for the opportunity.
When you say you like the violence, what do you mean by that? Can you explain that to me?
So the violence to me, it's like you're taking a cold-hearted shot to the face, and you got to stay there. If you do MMA, you're taught to dodge punches. We're taught to, take that to the face. It's either you have it in you or you don't. And
Mm.
that's what I mean by the violence of it. I love the violence because you're getting slaps. That's violent. Like it's like someone punching you in a way. It's like bare knuckle in a way, but it's like you're getting slapped. It's the violence of it. That's what
Are
I mean
you
by the
shaking up
violence.
there? Are people shaking up there? Like with
What you
so
mean?
much, are people shaking up there? Like, are people getting such crazy adrenaline rushes? Like, have you ever gone up there and you look at your opponent and he's like shivering? He's like shaking.
I haven't seen that. Well, so actually, it's funny that you say that. My last opponent, Aaron Turner, right?
Mhm.
He had his first match against the number 4 heavyweight in the world, Brian Ellis, and in that moment, if you go back and watch his match, which Aaron Turner knocked out Brian Ellis, which was a non-ranked, knocked out the number 4. That's why he was able to face me because they had this big hype about him. But if you look back on his match, he had so much adrenaline to the point where like the ref had to stop the match because hey, calm down, relax, because you get so much adrenaline because like you're in there, you're about to take a slap and you probably don't even know what it feels like. You're taking a slap for the first time with all your might. And so he's having that adrenaline and he's out there like, okay, I gotta take this slap, da da da, and you gotta be cool, calm, and collective. You can't just be jumping around like that when you're about to take or shivering because the last thing you want to do, like my opponent did, was flinch, because you get that so adrenaline, and then you want to, you know, lead down, and then you can potentially hit the striker. So it's very important to stay still because you can actually end up injuring the striker, like I did in my opponent. So it's very important for you to stay still. And yeah, you might, feel that adrenaline, and you might get antsy or whatever, but you got to be professional. You got to take it.
Ever any idiots just on the street see you and be like, "Hey, will you slap me?" And you're like, "No,
Oh
dude."
no, no, no! I
Yeah.
can't do
Yeah.
that. There've been a few guys like, hey, I want to, and I'm like, oh, well, I can sign this waiver for you. You can sign this waiver, and then I'll do it. But for the most part, no, I'm not doing that, man. I'm getting paid to be on that stage to take a slap, receive a slap. Um, yeah, I'm not doing that. I know my power. I have real knockout power. I'm not gonna just slap anybody.
Yeah, but I could see some just idiot just saying like, "Hey, I wanna know what it's like," and you're like, "Uh-uh."
Yeah, so actually, it's funny that you say that too because it's like the females. We were so after the Power Slap 12 event we had an after party, and then we had actually shout out to my girl Chelsea Dodson, that's John Dodson's wife, which is a legend, UFC legend.
Yep, yep.
But she was actually in the at the after party actually giving out slaps to a couple people, and and it's actually going viral. But yeah, like
Does
if
she do it? Does Dotson's
yeah,
wife
she
do it?
actually, huh?
Does she do it professionally? Slap
Yeah,
fighting?
she performed. She was her second fight. So her first fight was against Paige Van Zant. It was a
Wow.
draw, and then she
Uh-huh.
just competed at this last Las Vegas event, and she lost, but she held her own like a G. She didn't get knocked out or anything. She just lost by points, by decision. But shout out to Chelsea. She's a G. She's an animal. I love that girl. Her and her husband John. They're wonderful people. But yeah, she ended up actually slapping some random guy. They were like, "Oh, hit me!" And obviously she's gonna go with all her power, but she ended up slapping somebody because some people want it for content, and she actually ended up doing it. It was actually cool to watch. But me
Uh,
personally, I'm not doing that.
yeah. It sounds like a lawsuit waiting to happen. Wait, what is this? Sevon, how many times have you heard "Take it like a man"? All right, settle down. Yeah, I hear that voice behind me. Shh, take it like a man.
Yeah, that's hey, honestly, I'd be saying that. Take it like a man. Like if you're flinching on stage, hey
Yeah.
man, take it like a man.
Yeah.
Stop being you know what, and take it like a man. Sometimes you have to say that because like I said, you don't want to get injured out there, man. Freaking damage your hand because they can't take it like a man, you know?
Wes, what is the do you know what the psychology is? Why would someone flinch? I understand the flinching part, obviously, but why flinch forward? Why not flinch back? It seems like everyone does flinch forward, right?
Yeah, so I mean, so there've been fighters that I know personally that actually took a shot and they got away with the call, you know? It was a flinch and then but some of them moved backwards so they
Yeah.
could try to avoid the hit maybe at the
Yeah.
last second.
Like just get the fingers, right?
Yeah, and they'll get the fingers and then that would be like then that's a slap considered even if you hit them with the fingers that's considered a slap. So some people get away with it, but they're knocking down on that with the refs where like if they see you flinch, they're gonna call it, man. And
The instant replay is good. It's really hard to hide a flinch.
exactly. But for the most part, yeah, man. Getting that slap, bro, and then flinching, like it's a whole big deal.
But why do people flinch forward? Like if I were going to flinch, I would probably flinch forward too, but obviously it seems like the better way to flinch is backwards.
Yeah, it is. If I'm gonna flinch, I'm flinching backwards for sure.
Because you
But
still
some
hurt that guy
guys,
Eric Turner. Even though he flinched, he still fucking took a shot.
yeah, he took a shot. So, shout out to the Crazy Hawaiian. He's my mentor. If you can see some of his matches,
Yeah.
um, Crazy. Don't get mad if you're watching this and you see this, but like sometimes he'll he'll go forward, because it's like I don't know if it's a thing where like if I slap you, you want to like try to lead. So it's like it's almost like you're like it's hard to explain it, but it's if you lean forward, it's almost like you're taking the slap. It's like you're preparing yourself for that force, and you have a better chance of surviving that slap if you just lean forward like that. Like
Right.
because then if you lean forward like that, the striker is gonna miss target and they might hit you up top, and then you're not knocking nobody out. If you hit them up here, if you hit them back here, you're not knocking nobody out. The sweet spot is your chin. So that's what you want to aim for. So some of those guys might flinch and go forward like that to where the point where I'm hitting you already right here and you're not getting knocked out. So as for if you go backwards, you might just get the fingers.
Yeah.
So there's like a little thing to it, but we're cutting down on that.
How many of the shots you get 3 or 4 shots?
So each round, so there's 3 rounds in a normal fight.
Mhm.
Championship rounds, it's 5 fights. So with me and Aaron, so I won the coin toss, so I get to strike first.
Is that always
So
better? Is that always better?
oh, of course. Just like
Yeah,
my
okay.
last fight before the Aaron Turner fight, I was a one and done. I was in Saudi Arabia, flew halfway across the world, and I was able to win the coin toss and get a one and done. That's the most
Oh,
beautiful
yeah.
feeling you can ever have. So I'm striking first, and then I don't get hit. I don't get hit because I knocked you out. That's the best feeling to have. That's like the goal. But yeah, you always want to strike first, one and done. That's a beautiful feeling, knowing that I can go away halfway across the world, make the money that I made, and be and walk away from it without even getting touched, man, that is a beautiful feeling.
Oh, okay. So, you go first, and that's always the best thing. And
Yeah.
then,
Oh yeah, so okay, so like I said, each round, so if
yeah,
I'm hitting first, then and so if I'm hitting first, right, then he gets to hit me second, right? And then
yeah.
that's round one. And then round two, I get to hit again first, and then he hits me. And then if it continues, then we go to round three, then I get to hit first again, and then he hits. So it's like that. Literally, it's just like that. But then if you flinch, then I get to hit you again, you know? Or if you palm strike somebody and you hit them, then that's a point deduction. Then you're already losing at that point, you know? So you got to be careful not to palm or not to step because you could be striking somebody and then you step and then you step. That's a no-no because then it's like a point deduction. You know, you don't want to lose by points. You don't want to give it to the refs.
Yeah, I'm guessing, there's hits you make where you're like, "Oh, fuck, I fucked up." Like, you were too far away, and you're like,
Yeah,
"I didn't hit him with that. I just basically slapped. I literally just slapped him."
yeah.
Is that has that happened to you, and is that demoralizing? Are you like, it's basically like throwing away a slap?
Yeah, yeah. Especially like, I did that with my weak hands. Yeah. I freaking slapped him and I was like, damn, I didn't have that much juice behind him. Like, damn, I pretty much gave him a free slap. And then even with Aaron Turner, he can attest to that too. His last slap, he had to knock me out with his last slap for him to win the match. Because I was already up by points. And if you look at that last slap that he gave me, it was just like his fingers. And looking back, I bet you he can wish he could take that back and really hit me a little bit closer. But he was to the point where I guess he just didn't make good contact and he hit me with his fingers. It bothered me with his fingers, but it was no real damage to me. So if you go back and look at that last slap, man, he fumbled the bag. He had to knock me out. Yeah, right there. Looking back right at that, look, he just hit me with his
Oh,
fingers right
yeah,
there.
he missed his pinky
He
didn't even make
missed.
contact, yeah.
Yeah, it was just his fingers. Look at that.
Oh my
Wow.
god, you don't flinch at all.
Nah, I'm taking it, bro, because that's the last thing I want to happen. I mean, you don't want to get hit by a 6'8" guy, all of 265 pounds again. Giving him a free shot because you flinched. That's the worst feeling. You don't want to. You don't want to do that. So you just want to go ahead and just take it and be done with it. Yeah, I could tell. See, he didn't get that much of a good positioning with his hand to my face. Like he got me, but it wasn't nothing damaged. No, nothing crazy. He was
What shouldn't he have
honestly.
done different? He should have been a little bit higher and then just a
He should have
little
been a
bit
little bit.
closer?
I feel like he should have been a little bit closer so he can get a little bit of his palm in there.
Yeah.
But he really just got me with his fingers. I didn't feel that slap at all, to be honest. I didn't feel that. Yeah, you can
Does
see.
that hurt your hand when you slap someone? Does it sting for a
Um,
second?
at first when I had it does a little bit, but now the type of training that I do, I try to condition my hand. Just like when you do a kick, you try to condition your kick. I'm conditioning my hand. So I'm hitting the bags 200 plus times, in a day if I'm training. Because you want to be able to have your hand to where the point where it's numb. So when you hit somebody, you don't feel it. So that's what I try to go for, to the point where like I try to condition my hand to hit somebody's face with it. Because yeah, it can hurt. If you slap somebody and you're not really properly trained for it, you can actually, yeah, you can injure yourself. So that's why it's important to condition your hand to the point where like, you don't feel anything.
Hey, watch your neck here. So I was wondering about this in the beginning of the show. So it looks like you're relaxed. You're relaxed, and oh shit! I just fast forwarded it. Damn it.
No, you're good.
Uh, and then at the last minute, you tighten up your neck. I was
Yeah.
wondering what the strategy was. Is it to tighten or is it to just be loose and go with it?
No, so some people have different strategies. I like to be a little bit tight. So as soon as I know, and then some people will flinch because they see the slap coming. Some
Uh-huh.
some people actually close their eyes and just take it. Me, I'm just tightening up. I have my mouthpiece in, and I'm just clenching down really hard on my teeth, and then I'm just like tightening it up really hard to the point where like if he slaps me, it's like a brick wall. He's hitting a brick wall. Some people actually will give or will take a slap to the point where like they might move and try to time it and try to
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
try to do that. But you gotta be careful with that because if you don't time it right, they will get you for a flinching. But there's different strategies in that. I'm just taking that shit to the face, bro, because that's the last thing I want is to get a flinching call and then they have to hit me again. But I'm just taking it, and that's how I see it. I'm clinching down. I'm really tight to the point where like, okay, when he's about to hit me, then I'm squeezing down. But if you're up there and you're already clinching, it's like you're losing energy. So like it's like you're losing your gas tank in a way because you can get really tired really fast if you're just clinching up there really tight and you keep doing it and then he's going on three and then you're still clinching and he's doing one, two, and three, and then during them 3 seconds, 3 4 seconds, you're still clinching up there. You can lose a lot of energy like that. So at the last second is when you want to clinch really tight and just take it.
How about his foot coming up here? Can your foot come up?
So now they've been a little bit leniency on the foot come up as far as stepping. So first of all, okay, so now they have it. Okay, so once you give out the contacts, you can only. Okay, so you see right here, right?
Yeah, he
So
transfers the weight of his body from his right foot to his left foot.
correct. So now they have it where you can have a minor heel lift, just a minor heel lift, just a minor heel lift. But when you make contacts, is then when you can actually pivot. As long as you make that contact first, they don't care if you pivot. As long as it's
Okay.
yeah, as long as you don't actually take your whole foot off the ground, then that's considered stepping. But now they have a little more leniency, like okay, even if you deliver a slap, you can have a little bit of a heel lift now. But yeah, for the most part, that's after you hit that person is when you can have a little bit of a minor heel lift, and then you never want to step.
God, that guy's fucking huge.
Yeah, he was tall, man. I had to switch up my whole game plan, my whole striking, just everything because I was worried like I wasn't gonna have the same amount of power, And luckily, I actually did have my power, but he was just so tall, man. It was just you have to adapt. Aaron Turner, big shout out to him, man. That the guy's tall, and a guy that's short like me, you really have to like game plan against a guy like that. You really have to get your practice in against a tall person. And being that I took that fight on a 5 day notice, I was not able to get too much of a training camp in, you know. Yeah, Aaron
And what?
Tall, man.
And Wes, he's standing outside the box. Did they make an exception for him?
No, so he's not standing outside the box. As long as you make contact within the box, is where
Oh,
as long as you have contact with your foot in the box, you're fine. Your
okay.
foot, a part of your foot has to be touching the box. As long as you touch your box, you're fine.
Okay, so each foot needs at least a little contact crossing that line.
Correct.
And what about those shoes? Do shoes matter?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so yeah, shoes do matter because you want to be in there nice and comfortable. Some guys wear boots because they feel like, they can get more weight. They can really like numb it down, be like because you want to be like a tree. You want to be planted down to the floor. You don't want to because when you strike, you're turning your hips and you don't want to wear shoes that's gonna be, not that have no grip. Some guys wear, I know some guys that actually wear uh I think powerlifting shoes where there's like a heel that goes up.
Oh.
Or yeah, so there's a guy that I know, I'm not gonna say their name, but his heel is actually a little bit lifted up forward to the point where like when he's standing, he's already like going forward. So if he gets knocked out or if he gets rocked, he's actually going forward. As the point, if I knock you out, you're going backwards and you're all over the place. So it's like you want to lean toward a little. Some guys lean towards the table to the point where like if they have the extra inch on that heel, they can like dumb down on the strike, so to say. It's hard to explain. It's more so like when they have certain shoes, they have that extra heel lift and they're going forward. So it's like they have that leverage. So if I hit you with a strike, you're not going backwards. You're sort of like just going forward because you don't, yeah.
Any crazy stuff? Anyone try any crazy stuff? Like stuff you put on your hand or anything? I'm
Oh
getting.
no. So that's the you can't. So the day of the so when you're walking up there, the referee. So you cannot. So the day of the fight, you cannot put no lotion. You can't put no grease. You can't put nothing on your face. Like they're really strict on that. Don't put lotion, no Vaseline, no nothing. Because when they go up there, they actually check for you. They look at your face, make sure there's no oils, no nothing. They look at your hands. They touch your hands. It's like you're in a fight. You don't want to have nothing on that because if they spot it, they will call you out and you have to take that off.
Uh,
But
y- You know, you can drink. I can't remember what I was doing, like a liver cleanse. I did some sort of cleanse one time, and you had to drink a shitload of olive oil, and it was actually was like coming out of my pores. I
Yeah.
wonder if there's dudes that do that, like drink some sort of like olive oil or something, and so just to get even a little bit of extra moisture in their skin. Anyone doing that
It's
stuff?
it's it's actually funny that you say that. So when I did the season 3 reality TV show, there's this guy named Rod Wave. Shout out to Rod. He actually was on the show and he was actually drinking olive oil, and I'm like, is that even safe? I caught him doing that, and then when he explained it to me, like you said, it could be like your pores and whatnot or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, but other than that, that's the only time I've ever heard somebody like doing that. But no, they're checking. They're really stern on that. You have to cut your fingernails. No oil, no Vaseline, no none of that. And yeah, man, just take it
Yeah, the
like a G.
fingernails could be deadly. I guess that they really they're on top of that.
Yeah, the fingernails, yeah, because you can see like with my yeah, it hurt really, I feel my marks right there from the slaps, but your fingernails can get caught up in somebody's skin for the most part. But yeah, they're pretty good about that. The refs are checking for your nails. You have to cut your nails. They can't be like over your fingers or whatnot. So they're really good on that.
Do you have a headache the next day or that day?
No, no, no. For
No.
the most part, I don't have a headache. No, nothing. It's more so just like when I get slaps, it's just the markings. That's about it. I don't get no headaches for the most part. I mean, I'm sore in a way, but I'm not no headache. I don't get headaches when I get slaps. It's just more of like I'm just getting hurt through like my jaw area, but not like I'm not getting no headaches.
Oh, that's good to hear. Hey, what about the people who want to do it? Is there a huge line as this thing explodes with popularity? Is there a waiting list now? Are there just shitloads of guys who want to do it?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that there's actually some influencers that actually want to do it, So it's getting big. So now Power Stop what they've so if you look back, Dana and Frank is also on another owner of Power Slap. He's actually saying that now they're starting to have training camps in Vegas where they actually have a couple of the champions, and they'll train somebody, they'll train those fighters. If you want to get into Power Stop, like now I'm in the Atlanta area, I'm under contract. So if somebody in the Atlanta area wants to be like, hey, I want to be on Power Slap, they can reach out to me. Or like, I used to train out of American Top Team in Diego Lima's gym over here in Gwinnett County. So like, if there's them
MMA, you were training
guys,
MMA there?
I'm sorry.
You were training MMA there?
Yeah, I was training MMA there. I was training for Chris Beast Boy Barnett. Shout out to Chris Beast Boy. He had a fight in the UFC, and he needed me to train and wrestle with him. But I haven't been there in a while. But like I'm actually gonna start reaching out to him to come out to his gym because I'm pretty sure there's gonna be guys they want to learn how to slap people, and there's an art. You're not just getting on stage and just slapping somebody. You have to learn the basics. You have to know the mechanics. You have to know this, like it's the mentality you have to have. Is I really believe it's 60% mental and then 40% like physical. Because this is not for everybody, man. And you really want to learn. Now people, is as we're getting bigger, we're expanding. So now look, I was able to go out the side of the country. We have people, and the crazy thing is like Power Slap, we're like slap fighting has been big globally. We're just not getting big in the United States. Like we're like the NFL of Power Slap, right now, with our promotion with Power Slap. And now we're going out the country. I've been to Saudi Arabia, I've been to Abu Dhabi now. I've never thought I would go to those countries just to slap fight somebody. But we're getting bigger globally, and just like Dana White said in a press conference for I think 313, he said, "Watch what Power Slap does." He really thinks Power Slap is going to get even be bigger than the UFC. It's getting so big because globally it's big. It's just not as recognizable globally as it is in the United States. So it's just we're getting up there, and it's competition is getting better and better. People are getting more interested, and people love those viral knockouts. You see them all over TikTok.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But yeah, we're getting bigger, we're expanding, and yeah, if you want to go ahead and try your luck, go out to Vegas, go to Apex, and hey, you can do. They'll have things where like they'll announce it. Hey, we're training. If you want to train for Power Slap, reach out to your fellow strikers if they're in your area. If you know somebody that's in your area and you want to train for Power Slap, reach out to them and learn. It's not hard.
Any problems with your bodyguard work as you get more notoriety that it's going to be weird to
Yeah.
go out because I know you're supposed to be a little more inconspicuous if you're the protection.
Yeah, so now a lot of people have been asking me that now. So now it's like, okay, now I'm the asset, in a way. So like now, but the beautiful thing is that I have my own company. So I don't work no 9 to 5 job. I go, so my busy season is normally from Super Bowl, the end of Super Bowl till training camp. So during that span of time, so from February to August is when I'm really busy. And so like now that I have a team and I'm getting higher and higher up and within Power Slap and getting to the point where like, hey, I can't be risking my life anymore because I'm to the point where like I'm an asset now. I'm making good money, and like now what I do is I have a team of guys, and then I just send them to go to like some of my clients. But I, for the most part, if you're like a low client of mine and I've been dealing with you for years, like I'll go ahead and do that, but for the most part I'm not going by myself. I'm taking somebody with me, and I'm working. I move real militant, and that's why those guys love me, because how I move and how I operate is to a different level. But for the most part, yeah, man. I've slowed down a little bit on the work. I only now it's to the point where I get to pick and choose who I want to work with, because like that's why I do athletes. I'm doing athletes, and they're more less likely to get in trouble. As for if I do rappers or entertainers, it's more of a risk. Because back in my earlier days, I done been in shootouts. I done been in so many different scenarios, and it's I never want to be put in that position again, because you can never know what might happen. But as I get older, as I progress within my new career, like I try to stay away from certain individuals, or if I know they're just, you know, um, a guy that's not as flashy maybe and stuff like that. I just try to pick those guys that I've been knowing. So yeah, as my career expands in Power Slap, I just try to lean more away and just try to pick and choose who I want to work with, because I'm an asset and I don't want to injure myself, you know, if they hit me up and then I'm injured, I can't make it. That's the last thing I want to happen.
And you don't want to be a distraction either. You don't want to draw attention while you're out
Exactly
with someone.
that
That's the
too.
last thing.
There's I'm already walking around Atlanta, and people are like, "Oh, you that power slap guy?" Da, da, da. And it's just like, and I'm like, "Huh, yeah, yeah, I am." So I'm starting to get notoriety like a lot, and it's crazy because it's like the fame that comes with it, and I don't really care too much about it. I just want the money. That's all.
Hey, Trump did an up the other day in Congress. I don't know if you saw it. And Elon was sitting there in the back, and sitting next to him is this fucking crazy hot chick, this blonde chick. And the guy I'm watching the show with is like, "Hey, dude, that's what his protection. That's one of his protectors." I'm like, "What, really?" And he goes, "Yeah, they got fucking just super hot fucking beaver that hangs out, and no one suspects them, but that chick's packing guns." Is that I don't know that particular one, but is that true? Do you see that in the protection business? Just a random nondescript cute lady.
I personally haven't seen
Got
that
okay,
as far as a bodyguard, because bodyguard and security are two different things. But I
okay.
haven't seen a female bodyguard. Um,
So she would be more like undercover security, I'm guessing.
Yeah, undercover. I'm pretty sure they have. I'm pretty sure there are females out there. I've been in bodyguard protection for about 13, 14 years now doing that. Um, for the most part, clients, they try to look for big guys, but it don't even really matter about how size you are, how big you are, because I don't seen guys that are big and they're soft as baby pudding. And it's all about the mentality too. Like you want to be move real militant. It's not all. It's really never about the size, to be honest. You want to make sure you can move real militant and be put in scenarios. So like I've trained out of Miami down there, and they have seminars and certain things where you can actually go and get certain certifications and whatnot. Like me, I'm PI. I'm a private investigator, so I was able to get my certifications and do certain things, because you don't want to just be all big and then you're not really a bodyguard because you don't even have your certifications. It's a whole different level of thing that you have to do. You can't just be up there and be, "Oh, I'm a security guard because I'm big." You got to be able to know how to. If a situation happens, you want to be able to learn how to handle a situation, because you're protecting somebody's life. With me, I'm charging accordingly. I'm charging my worth. I'm charging a lot of money just for the whole day. You know, I make in a day, I might make, what you might make in a week, in one day, so it's like you have to know your worth, and that comes of years of experience being put in certain scenarios. It's not about how big you are nowadays, because I've gotten smaller, but those guys love how I move real militant, and I don't fuck around,
Yeah.
because I'm protecting that guy's life. My job is to make sure you don't get robbed, you don't keep you out of jail, keep you from harm's way. That's like my job, to make your life easier. So yeah, I take
Is there
that
a
really
least favorite place
serious.
you like to go? Like when you said that you prefer athletes over rappers, I get that athletes are probably healthier. They're being a little less belligerent. Like, is like I know Atlanta's like a hotbed for strip clubs. Um, are there places like you're like got like going? Is there a worst case scenario like strip clubs with rappers? You're like, okay, we're gonna see a gun tonight.
Yeah, so with me being that I've been in the Atlanta scene and I've been doing this for years, so when they say, "Hey," for the most part, my athletes they listen to me because first of all, I live here. I've been here for years, so they want to know my recommendations. So, hey,
Okay.
Wes, where should we go tonight? Da, da, da. And then I'll refer to them some spots that I know they'll like, and I don't have to really worry about
Oh, you might know the
anything.
owner and the dancers
Correct.
and the
So I know the
doorman and
owner, the
stuff.
promoter, the
Okay.
security. I know the whole shebang. So it's easy
Okay.
for me to go in there, in and
Get the
out.
right table.
Correct. Get the right table. So yeah. So all that good stuff, all that stuff plays in a factor.
And I guess and that contributes to the money also. They know like, hey, this guy knows the people who work at this clothing store.
Yeah.
No one's gonna fuck with us. They'll close the door when the guy's in here. Or this strip club, they'll always give West this table where you
Yeah.
got your back to the wall. Oh, that's
Yeah.
good shit. Okay, so
Yeah. Just like
how long
that.
have you been doing this?
For about 13, 14 years. I'm
Wow,
34. I've been doing
wow.
it. I started off in the club scene. I started off as a security guard. And then they loved me so much where like I was actually taking these rappers, walking them to their car. And then it got to a point where like I had a buddy of mine, he was actually on tour with a rapper. And he took me under his wing and I learned so much. And then I was able to like um network, because I was able to be put in these rooms with these celebrities. And then I was able to, hey, print out business cards, give them my business cards. And then they'd see me in different places. These same celebrities would see me in multiple different places. And then they'd be like, hey, I seen you there the other day. Matter of fact, here, get my number. I might need you one of these days. And then sure enough, they'll hit me up, and then that's how I build my network. I was able to just get it out the mud. I was able to show my face more often, and they saw how militant I moved. So then they called me back, and then that's how I was able to get more and more clients as I got bigger and bigger, and then money started coming in, and then I can invest the money I made. I was able to get black trucks. I was able to get weapons. I was able to get more certifications. So I really started from the ground up. Now I have a team of like 7 guys. I have a black truck, so if ever, even if security is really slow, if I'm doing bodyguard work and it's slow, I can just hop and just do transportation. That's the
Mm,
beautiful thing of it.
mm. No kids, Wes.
No kids, no
Eh,
sir.
I'm surprised you're single.
Mm.
Are you single?
Yeah, I'm single, man. Yeah, yeah.
Are you gonna have kids?
I eventually want to. I want kids. I do want kids, but this generation's so messed up, man. And it's just like I don't want to just have kids just to have kids. I'm very picky about who I talk to because it's just the generation, man. It's just so crazy, and
Maybe
it's hard.
finding a good woman is hard?
It's especially be living in Atlanta. It's really hard to find good women with morals and
Mm,
that because over here it's like party, party, party. Like I don't want my girl to be partying every weekends, and
mm,
it's just that's all you see in Atlanta. It's just we're like Black Hollywood over here. Almost guaranteed to see a rapper. All these rappers are from Atlanta. You have Future, Lil Baby, Ti. You have so many rappers, Young Thug. You have so many rappers from Atlanta, so it's like you see all these rappers. I just saw Two Chains and Drewski and just all these rappers are out here. So it's like you see all these women and it's just the nightlife. I try to stay away from it. The only time you can catch me going outside is if I'm on a date or I'm getting paid to come outside. I'm really just not just going outside just to go outside. I feel like the dating scene is really bad out here. That's why I prefer to me I prefer a certain type of person that's really not outside. I'd rather meet somebody at the library,
Right.
at the grocery store, something like that. So I want somebody that's opposite of that nightlife lifestyle, and that's what I try to go for.
I was gonna say, what about going to church to meet a girl? But Jamie said that's a good idea too. Find a CrossFit girl. CrossFit
Yeah,
gym's got lots of nice girls there.
yeah, most definitely.
They're,
That's
u-
something I
and they're
might
u-
have to look into.
yeah, they're focused and they're usually overachievers and they're working on themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah, man, you're a good catch for a woman who's busy and is like chasing her own dreams,
yeah, most definitely.
or someone who wants to be a good homemaker. Man, you are a good catch.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean, I come with the whole shebang, and hopefully one day, I can catch somebody out there. And we'll see. I'm in no rush. I'm focused on my career right now. I'm focused, and I want to go far. I want to win that title. I want to come back to Atlanta with that heavyweight strap. And just expand, man, and just yeah, I do want to have a family, but to me, my kids, who my kids are, my nephews.
mm.
So I treat those guys like my kids. I have with my sister, she has 5 kids. She has 4 boys and 1 girl.
Oh, wow, her hands
Yeah,
are
so those are
full.
like my kids right there, man.
Wow.
So I love those guys to oh man, to death. So
How old
like
are your
I
nephews?
so the oldest is 12 years old. And
Okay.
then I think like they're about a year or two apart, going down, and then the smallest I believe is like 2 or 3 years old, my
So they love
niece.
their uncle. You come
They
over there
love
and
their
they just
uncle.
jump all over you and shit.
Oh man, I just seen them yesterday. They were so happy for me for my match. They saw my match, and they were so happy. And yeah, they get so excited. And then I gotta tell them, hey, you can't be slapping people at school, because they're starting to slap now. They're like, hey,
Yeah.
you can't be doing that. Stick to football. Stick to basketball. So I just try to motivate them and inspire them the best way I can. Show professionalism on the stage, all in and off the stage, and that's what it's all about. Just inspiring the next generation, and yeah, man.
Hey, your relationship with the Crazy Hawaiian. I've had him on here a couple times. A really cool guy. What a journey he's been on, getting out of Hawaii and all the drug use and the violence. How do you? And then he's got a shitload of kids too, right? He's got at least,
Yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
think like 5 or 6 kids, something like that.
yeah, and
Yeah.
he's got a beautiful wife. How did that friendship build?
So, actually, that's crazy. That's a great question. So, when I first met Crazy was in Abu Dhabi. I was going into my second match ever, and I wasn't really confident in my slap. But then when I found out that he's going to be on the card, I was like, okay, great. This is my opportunity to meet him, because I feel like we come from the same upbringing in a way, and I was so eager to meet him. And then when I met him in the cafeteria when we were having breakfast for the first time. And then we were just talking, and then we had so much in common to where he ended up coming to my hotel room, and we talked not even about power stuff. We just talked about life. We ended up being in my hotel room in Abu Dhabi for like 3 hours. And then he did me the favor. He was like, you know what, Wes? This is what I'm gonna do for you. I'm gonna help you on your match. And sure enough, he helped me on my match. He doesn't teach you about the power. He taught me about the intricate details of a slap. And when
Mm.
he taught me the certain mechanics and certain things that I've instilled in my brain now, I was able to get the knockout. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't have had that first knockout because he
Oh,
taught me certain
wow.
things. So I take his friendship to new levels. Like we're so tight. That's like my brother now.
So this
Um,
fight here, the night, a couple nights
No,
before.
it was the fight before that one. It was against Abu Jashel. So I
Okay.
was the fight was in Abu Dhabi. I was going against this guy that has an MMA background, powerlifting champion, arm wrestling champion. He was a lot bigger. So the odds of me winning were like really bad because they were picking this guy to win against me in my second match. And sure enough, if it weren't for Crazy, I wouldn't have not had that knockout. And when he sat in my hotel room, he taught me certain things that I was like, wow, really? And then I was so confident in my slap. So when I got up there, I was able to be coachable and then knocked him out. So if it weren't for Crazy, I would not have those 2 last knockouts if it weren't for him, because he just taught me the mechanics, the certain little intricate details that I was able to apply in my match. And like I said, if it weren't for him, I wouldn't have had that. And so we run deep. And then with this last fight, he was able to be my coach in my corner. and that was just a beautiful thing. And
So
we worked.
so Power Slap will say, "Hey, you can we'll pay for you to bring a coach," and you chose Crazy
No,
Hawaiian?
no, they
No.
actually picked the coach. They
Oh, they
actually
pick.
picked the coach for you. Yeah.
Oh, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So as we're getting bigger, eventually I'm pretty sure that we'll have it where we can have our own coach and all that good stuff.
How did you
So
happen to get him? How did you get so
right,
lucky to have him?
because they yeah,
They picked him?
so when they announce the fight card, they'll announce also who are the coaches,
Yeah,
and they have, they had the Crazy Hawaiian, they had the Wolverine as a coach on the other side. So
yeah.
Power Stop will actually announce who the coaches are, and then whoever's on your coach corner, whoever's on your on that on whatever side they give you on, like they had me on the Crazy Hawaiian side. So I was blessed to
What if
even
he would have
have
been on the
him.
other side? What if your homeboy would have been coaching the other dude?
Then
That would have been
then
crazy.
he would, yeah, it would have been crazy. I mean, but knowing me and Crazy, we're so tight, we're so locked into, he knows to keeps his mouth shut on certain things. But because you don't want to give out all the secrets,
Right,
you want to give out the fundamentals of how to slap, but there's
right.
so many secrets and so many things to a slap that, like, off camera I could teach you certain things, and then you'll never like know, like, wow, really, like, so there's certain things that you have to like master.
Wow, nuances.
Yeah.
How was it? The YouTube premiere. I was so happy to see you guys get off of Rumble. I don't dislike Rumble, but the platform's kind of sticky, right? So like,
Yeah.
if I want to forward to your match, the ads get all weird and jumbly, and then it pushes
Yeah.
you back, and you know what I mean? It's like hard scrolling on the and then you guys just premiered 2 days ago on YouTube. Is that big for you? Did you notice different? But
Yeah,
you know what
man.
else is
So
weird? You can't search it. Someone like if you go to YouTube and you type in, it doesn't bring it up. If you put in Power Slap 13, like someone it was hard to find, but I'm guessing that in the end YouTube will be better.
yeah, YouTube is a lot better. YouTube is so much better, bigger platform. We just partnered up with VChain, I believe. And so we just signed a rights deal with them, I think for like 76
V chain's like
million.
some sort of like a chain.
I'm sorry.
What is V chain? Oh, is that
VChain, I
crypto?
think, is like a company that bought the rights to PowerStop to bring it onto YouTube.
Okay.
So they have a whole deal going on. And that's big for us because, yeah, with Rumble was like our Spike TV in a way. It was like an app. They did well for us, like Dana White said. But YouTube is nowadays it's about the viewership. It's about the content. There's so much content out there, but everybody has YouTube. So it was
Yep.
just a non-brain. Okay, we'll get on YouTube, and you can just watch the match, and so we can stream it live, and they can watch it from there,
Yep.
and it's just easy. With Rumble, you had to download the app, you had to maybe make an account, it was all that crazy stuff. But I mean, for the most part, YouTube is so much better. So now it's like, if I have somebody, like, let's say like my grandmother, now it's so easy for her to just get on YouTube, type Power Stop, and then she can watch it live.
Yeah.
So it's just a much easier, and then you can just go back and watch the whole fight itself. It's just so much easier, and then you don't have to worry about the ads and all that good stuff when it's live streaming and all that good stuff. But yeah, it's just a great partnership, and we had so many views just already, so it's been doing well for us.
My kids absolutely love it. Um,
Yeah.
Wes, how long have you lived in Atlanta?
So I've been here since 1999.
What was it like? Um, what's the mood of Atlanta changed politically with Trump in office? Has there been a shift in Atlanta? Like, do you think that
Yeah,
the town's becoming more conservative?
yeah, because I remember at first, when I mean, just because Atlanta's like, it's like more of like black community out here, but
Yeah,
then you have the
you call
sub.
it Black Hollywood. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
and I
but
had
then
that
you
feeling
have,
when I was there too. The times
yeah,
I've been
but
there, like the Four Seasons there, you go to the Four Seasons in California, it's all white people. You go to the Four Seasons in Atlanta, it's all black people.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You have the
people.
rich bougie black people out here too, but
Yeah.
for the most part, um, I don't really try to get into the political world in a way because it's that can go so many different ways. But I mean, for the most part, within the city of Atlanta, there I'm not gonna say I've seen too much change. Well, I mean,
Like
uh,
I live in an echo chamber, and basically from my perspective, the echo chamber is that like black people are like in the last 4 years are like, what the fuck's going on here?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
what the fuck have you guys been doing?
No, it's really
We're done with these fucking people, and they're pushing up against our values. We don't want the boys and the girls sports. You guys aren't doing shit. You guys are having us just play the victim. You're playing us. You can take advantage of us. It seems like there's been a shift, but I do live in a little bit of an echo chamber, so I can't tell if that's what I want to hear or if there has been a shift.
Yeah, to be honest, I try to stay away from any of those
Gotcha.
politics
Okay.
stuff. Yeah,
Fine. All right. All right. Word. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. It's hairy
yeah,
shit. Yeah, it's hairy. Is that because of sponsors or because of business associates or because you don't want to alienate anyone? You want everyone to be like, hey, I'm cool. We're
yeah,
cool.
exactly. That's
Right.
exactly what it is. I don't want to mess with any sponsors or any like stuff that I got going on because people can be biased and
Yeah.
they will
Yeah.
hold certain
Yeah.
stuff against you. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I just try to stay away from the political side for the most
Yeah.
part.
Yeah. I'm not hating. And you know, I did for the most part too until I had kids, and then all of a sudden I was like, fuck it, I got to jump.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I hear you. I hear you.
Hey, dude, I loved having you on. Thank you for coming on. I know you just had a fight 2 days ago, and I really appreciate you making the effort to do this with me. I know my listeners are going to appreciate it. Great having you on, dude. And if you talk to the Crazy Hawaiian, tell him I said thank you, and I can't wait to have him on again, too.
Yeah, most definitely, man. I appreciate you having me. It's phenomenal. It's an honor to have me on here. I appreciate you, and I will definitely reach out to Crazy and let him know that I was on here, and maybe I can get another slap striker on here with you. You know, and they can, you know,
Anytime. Yep. I'd love that.
they can talk their experiences from from what they've were able to go through and whatnot. And but yeah, man, it's an honor. I appreciate you, and it's I'm blessed, and I appreciate you.
All right, dude. Have a great day. Thank you, Wes.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yep.
Have a good night. All right. Bye.
Bye. All right. Wes Mena. Probably future champ, 4-0. Got to be getting close to the championship fight. All right. You missed me already? You only been awake for 20 minutes. You missed me already? All right. I will be back in just a second.
Biggest thing that hasn't changed is the community, the people, relationships that you meet and you hold. I believe that's the core on why I still come. Coming on 10 years being here, people is what makes this gym. Hi there, my name is St. Georgiles. I've been coming to Average Joe's since day one. Average Joe's kind of started as a discussion. It was a bet. The owner at the time, he was a firefighter. He was very passionate about CrossFit and he would always tell us about it. So one day I was just like, stop talking about it. How about you be about it? And next thing you know, Average Joe's was born. Maybe a year in, I got diagnosed with Graves' disease, which is a condition on my thyroid. The doctor put me on strict orders, say you can't work out until we get this under control. Once I came back, I didn't know if I wanted to do CrossFit again. The owner at the time, he reached in and he was like, no, this is what you need. You need to get back on the horse. Who knows, if he wouldn't have been there and been my wingman to pull me back in here, that may have been the end of my CrossFit career. I'm glad he did. Definitely made some long life relationships. I'm a retired military guy. Having those individuals that I met here at the gym to step in at any moment's notice and pretty much become family that I didn't even know I needed at the time until the time came. Whether I needed help with my kids or my wife needed a ride. Average Joe's had a huge benefit for me to have a good mental state when I was downrange. And I think that's the beauty of this gym is just the opportunity that you get to interact with different people. Like I said, people need people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Two Brain Business. Two Brain Business. Putting out the most amount of affiliate promos, affiliate inspirational stories, more than anyone else by 10x. Pretty crazy, right? Funny what happens when you partner with people who make shit happen. That was a new one. You guys have never seen that one, I don't think. We put in Sousa put in a whole new rotation of affiliate promos. I fucking love it. All right. Barry McCockner, 25.3 is a chipper of rowing, deadlifts, and wall walks. Why would you say that? I back squatted 165 yesterday. For one. Give me, I'm a fucking boss. 165. That's like a body weight back squat. My bench is more than my back squat. That's bad, right? Sean Lenderman, 50 cal row, 25 deadlift, 50 cal row, 25 wall walk. What are you guys talking about? What do you guys think you know? What the fuck do you guys think you guys know? You guys don't know shit. You guys, heavy Sevy, heavy from my heavy Sevy, heavy Fran workout leaked. I think you're spot on about 25. Oh, please, Greg McD. You don't know what you're talking about. There's not going to be any leaks. You guys don't know what you're talking about. Chat, what's the official word? All my members are sending the Keeping It Real comment. I don't know what his comment is. I hate relying on the chat to run the show. It's so fucking lazy. So lazy. I don't know. I don't think Atlanta's a shithole. I don't know. I mean, relative to what? To like Philly or Baltimore? I don't know. I haven't downtown's a ghost town. I'll tell you that. So many of these towns I've been to, the downtowns are a ghost town. Sevi, very humbling to admit that back squat, but then again, my chest bars. Like, what is your back squat? Is it double that? I mean, I think I can do more. You know what I did yesterday? I'll tell you what I did. It's like no surprise. I rode. What did I do? I rode yesterday and did negative muscle ups. That was my warm up. So I rode 10 calories, one really slow negative muscle up. That's basically I jumped to the top of the rings and let it pull through just really slowly. I did that for my warm up. And oh no, sorry, I didn't do 10 calories. I did 1 minute. That's what I did. I did 1 minute. It was more than 10 calories because I ended up with a shitload of calories. I was surprised. I think I was rowing it. When I started rowing, I was like my first round, I rowed like at 800. I know that's pathetic. I don't even know what that number means, but it said 800. And then my last like 5 rows, I kept it around 1100. And so row a minute and then just one really slow negative muscle up. So I was done with that. And then Greg's wife had been doing back squats, so she left it. She had the rack was out. So I was like, fuck it, I guess I'll do back squats. I never do back squats. Oh, 325. So your max is double what I did yesterday. Great. And I did 10 reps with 45 pounds, and then I did 10 reps with then I did 9 reps with, I put the 15s on, whatever that is. Was that 75 pounds? And then I did 8 reps with 95 pounds. And then every round after that, I just added 10 pounds and reduced it by 1 rep. So I did 2 reps at 155. I did 3 reps at 145, something like that. I feel okay. I'm not sore today. I feel okay. And then today, probably I'm going to do something with deadlifts. I'll probably do some sort of rowing push-up workout. I'll do like 250 meters on the rower, 15 push-ups, 10 rounds for my warm-up, and then I'll just do heavy deadlifts. What's the plan? Who knows? Things can always change. I walked 3 miles yesterday. I did that too. I went swimming yesterday. I did that too. When I mean swimming, I mean like, fighting with the boys in the pool for 30 minutes. Yeah, I should go swimming again today. I might go swimming again today, Haley. Yeah. What if I told you in California? Ready, Pat? What if I told you in California, part of the curriculum was to stand around with your friends in a circle in class and pretend like you're gay? What if I told you that was part of the curriculum? Stand in a circle with your buddies. Okay, everyone, stand up. Okay, let's break up into 4 groups. Let's stand around in a circle. And today, you're going to pretend like you're gay. What if I told you that was part of the California school curriculum? And it was a no talking activity. You did it without talking. That doesn't sound good. Sevon, you already do that. You're not pretending, Sevon. All right. What if you're already gay? Oh yeah, then shit. Then you don't even have to pretend. Hey, maybe they should tell the gay kids to stand in a circle and pretend like they're straight. What if I told you that was part of the curriculum? Here we go. California teacher.
Well, thank you guys for having me. I am here to talk about an assignment that was showed into my daughter's classroom. I'm going to read the assignment. I do have a picture, but that's neither here nor there. It says, stand in a circle. Each of you is now gay or lesbian, and you're about to begin your coming out process. You cannot talk for the rest of this activity. I don't see how this is part of the California curriculum for education. There's nothing that it does other than groom children. It's not okay. It's disgusting, and it should not be allowed.
It's kind of weird. Let me play devil's advocate here for a second. So when I was a kid, if you would have stood around in a circle and the teacher says, okay, everyone pretend like they're a dog, it would have been okay, right? Or if you're, let's say you go to a Christian school and you're like, okay, everyone pretend like you're a character in the Bible. You're Judas and you're stabbing someone in the back. You're fucking, did Moses have a cane? And you're Moses, you're playing with the cane. Or you're fucking Jesus and you're fucking turning water into wine. You could get kids around in a circle and be like, hey, pretend like you're a professional athlete, but you can't talk. So everyone's like a baseball player's pretending to throw a ball. I don't know. That wouldn't be weird. That sounds like a cool. I loved playing charades as a kid. I loved that game, charades. What? Oh, charades. Thank you. I got a little French in me. Charades. I like playing charades as a kid. It's dumb and it's useless, but it doesn't groom anyone. Oh, contraire, mon frère. There's the great Bart Simpson said, that's the dumbest word in the language. Someday dummies will realize you can't teach gay. God, Pat, you're so confused, my friend. You are so confused. My homie Sherrod sold me weed one time. Oh yeah, that is a good black name. Oh, that's a great name for a black dude, Sherrod. I feel groomed listening to Sevon. You should. This is the full brainwashing show. Mr. Grant, human beings mimic behavior when things are presented to be seen as normal. We are more likely to entertain them. Yeah, like the Bible, right? You got sucked up into the Bible. I know what you're saying, Pat, but don't think that there's not kids out there who are like, who aren't experimenting because they thought it was cool. This shit is fucking crazy that this is in the California school system.
I was told by the vice principal of Rancho the first time I called that it was not part of the curriculum.
It was not part of the curriculum. All right. So maybe just a rogue teacher. Then
emailed Dr. Villarreal. He emailed me back saying, oh no, this is definitely part of the curriculum.
Oh wait, it is part of the curriculum, says the doctor on campus. The vice principal says it's not part of the curriculum. The doctor says it is part of the curriculum. Well, either way, it was part of the curriculum if the teacher brought it in.
This specific activity. Then he had one of his other vice principals call me to confirm that it was really part of this curriculum.
A second vice principal then weighed in and said, no, it is part of the curriculum.
I have tried to get into contact with Dr. Villarreal over the phone about 8 times and just failed every single time. He has not reached out to me himself personally.
Is it weird that the dad complaining is clearly gay? That part might be weird.
Other than the first email contact that we had, I've reached out to Dr. Matt Doyle. I do understand that we will be having a meeting between January 6th and the 13th, I believe. So there is that. I don't think that this assignment should ever be taught. Well, thank you guys for having me. I am here.
I don't think this assignment should be taught. Janelle, you think it's weird if you had kids stand around in a circle and be like, okay, everyone pretend to be your favorite animal? I don't know. Okay, pretend to be your whatever your parents' profession is, pretend to be that without talking. What if it was a $20,000 a year private school that taught that? Would you do it? I mean, would you send your kid to it? Learned, groomed, or otherwise, it has no place in schools. What if they had stand in a circle and pretend to be Chinese? Stand around in a circle and pretend to be black. Stand around in a circle and pretend to be Palestinian. My kids go to a $20,000 a year private school, and that shit is nowhere near the building. Bingo, Mr. James. What happens when kids think it's popular or cool to be something they aren't just to fit in? I had a friend who son was in junior high when it was trendy to kiss other boys. I don't know if this is going to translate to the show. I normally don't do stuff like this, but this is just fucking too good. I watched this 5 times this morning. I can't even fucking believe this is real. This is from a security cam in a Globo gym. You have to, you can watch it. You can watch it 5 times and still like see new shit you hadn't seen before. So this lady standing on the third treadmill, if you count from the furthest one away, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. This lady, I'm circling my little hand on in the blue or purple. Watch what she does here. She's done on the treadmill, and instead of getting off the treadmill, watch what she does. She steps on the treadmill next to her. And goes down and then knocks that chick off the treadmill. Now the chick next to them is watching like, what the fuck is going on here? Then this jackass who has no business, this guy has no business helping this girl. None. He comes over. He steps on the treadmill and he gets tossed off. And then this black lady who also has like, what are you going to do? What? At least she's athletic. This is fucking such a crazy scene here. 4 people go down, but this is. Watch it again in real time. Whoop! She steps on the wrong treadmill. She knocks that chick off. That chick's trying to get back up. That guy trips, falls off. The chick on the far end is smart. She steps off the treadmill right away. That bald dude needs to just mind his own business. What is he gonna do? Oh my goodness. Every single person that tries to help gets jacked up. Oh, does he? Why? When he falls, he puts his hand on that other chick's snatch. Watch this. Watch the dude in the blue. Watch the dude in the blue, the bald white guy. Watch when he goes over there. He just nails her snatch. Look at that. Holy shit. He hammers her puss. He hammers her puss. Look at that. He's just got one hand just rubbing the man in the canoe. Yeah, full grab. Full he just got a handful of vagina. He braces himself on her beaver. Wow. See, that's what I mean. I hadn't even seen that. I watched that like 5 times, and that's the first time I've seen that. Just a straight crotch grab. I think that one chick is hurt. The first chick who falls, imagine what happens to her spine here. Look at this. Look at it. Look at her. Boom. Yeah, Hiller would say this is fake. Hiller would say this is all staged. That chick's back got rocked. And then this dude comes over here, pretends to fall, but we realize that he's just trying to get a piece of vag. He gets spun off. Don't touch my pussy. And that last black chick's crazy athletic. Did you see how when she hit the ground, how quick she bounced up? Yeah. Oops. Oh, bam. Oh, yeah, that fucked her up. She's lucky her wig didn't fall off. That dude grabs the pussy. This chick comes over. My goodness. What about China posturing on World War III? We're ready to go to war with the United States with any trade war or any other kind of war. Is that scary shit? How come Fox News isn't covering that? How come they keep focusing on Trump's up in front of Congress? How come they're not focusing on that? It seems like a pretty big story to me. Excuse me. I don't really like the Chinese saying we'll go to any kind of war with you. Can we talk about those thrusters, Sevon? How do you get that depth? My thrusters? I didn't even watch my video. I didn't even know if I had depth. Are you making fun of me? Did I not go deep or did I go deep? I don't even know. I was just fucking hanging on for fucking dear life. And just so you know, that shit can happen to anyone. Like I used to do 135-pound thrusters, 10 burpees, 3 rounds for time. I used to fucking be able to just crank out 135-pound thrusters like it was my job. Probably 37. But don't think that shit can't go away. A few back injuries and that shit will go away. Oh, so deep. So deep, put your ass to sleep. Okay. All right. I don't even remember. Let me see if I can find it. Now you guys got me curious. Manage videos. Let me see if I can pull up that video. God, 13 minutes of misery. You know what's crazy is I started to actually, my double unders. I thought I was going to kill the double unders. My double unders really suck. Look at me just putzing around. Good job, Sevi. Adjust the weights. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. So I do have good depth. Damn, I move fucking slow as molasses. By the end, actually, what's interesting is I was actually, I don't remember this last. Let me see if I can take it down here. This last rep, I started actually feeling a little good towards the end of this workout. I was thinking if this workout was 24 minutes, it would have been better for me. I warmed up good, but it wasn't. Is that the? Is this the 115?
3. One more. Deep breath. 4. Nice. One more. You have 3 seconds. Okay,
Am I supposed to come on my toes like that? Your dubs don't suck. Just I do them with humility. Oh my goodness. Traveling barbell penalty. Yeah, after I did that first one with 115, I was like, oh, this is pretty good. And I looked at the clock and I was like, I was hoping I had more time. So like, okay, I'm starting to feel like a little loose. My shoulders were loosening up. Toes not bad. Okay. Ain't bad. Okay. Oh, good. Rich tripped on his double unders at least twice. Yeah, fuck that guy. Yeah, humility reps. That was a pretty heavy rope. I wasn't using like if someone says in here you need to use a heavier rope. That was the rope. I was doing those at home and I was doing sets of 20 with shoes on the first time and it was pretty easy. I just thought that basically I practiced a few before it started, before I did the workout. And I just thought that with 3, 2, 1, go, my shit would come together and I would kill it. But audio is crazy. Oh, like my audio? Like me grunting and shit? I don't even remember doing that. Oh, good job, Flores. Stephen Flores says, this is the highest I've been on the leaderboard, 87 percentile. Great job. I'm really, oh shit, wow. Is Kanye's Instagram account down? Oh, that's crazy. Oh, that's such a shame. Wow. Dude, I'm telling you, you know how Kanye's been going out in public with a swastika shirt on? And yesterday or the day before, I went to his Instagram account and I saw there was he had a clan outfit. Posted a picture of a clan outfit, you know, the robe and the hat. And if he does that, in the comments were fucking, people are so stupid in the comments. If he wears that out in public, that will be so gangster. That will be like, basically what he's doing is he's just taking away all the symbols. He's basically just saying, if he does that, he's basically saying none of this shit matters, people. It's all just what you bring to it. Wear a swastika, wear a clan outfit, wear a shirt that's a fucking Palestinian flag, wear a fucking gay outfit that's the gay pride flag. If he did that every single day, I would think he's such a G. People are like, he's lost his fucking mind. I think he's just a fucking like, fuck it. I'm free. Freedom. Yeah, basically, yeah. Just not erasing history, but bringing a perspective to it. But bringing perspective to it. There was this, I remember when I was in high school at UC Berkeley, there was a magazine and it was called, the students put it out and it was called Gook. And it was a magazine for Asians. I think Gook is what does Gook mean? It's a derogatory term for, I think, Vietnamese people. Korean, Filipino, and Vietnamese. Oh shit, they don't even get their own. It's a derogatory term from people from East and Southeast Asia. Its origin is unclear, but it may have originated among U.S. Marines. And they'd come up with this magazine, and basically what they were doing is they're like, hey, we're just going to take the word back. And you know that swastika, I'm pretty sure it's a Sanskrit symbol before the Nazis used it, which could make it Sanskrit swastika. It's Buddhist. It's Sanskrit word for swastika means good fortune or well-being. Swastika is a equilateral cross with 4 legs. In Hinduism, the swastika represents various things that come in 4, such as 4 yugas or cyclical times, the 4 stages of life, the 4 Vedas. In Buddhism, the symbol is known as the manji and signifies the Buddha's footsteps. And the fucking Nazis took it. I don't know, Jeremy, would you call that erasing history? In Navajo culture, the swastika represented the whirling log, which is a sacred image. Swastika is common sight on temples or houses in India or in Indonesia. It's also a sacred symbol in Odinism. However, the swastika was hijacked by the Nazis and became a symbol of genocide and terror. And I doubt that the Nazis, when they hijacked it, were like, okay, let's make this the international symbol for genocide and terror. That's what people brought to it because the fucking Nazis were fucking burning Jews. Well, not just Jews. I think they burned a lot of non-Jews too. I think more than half the people they put in the ovens were not Jews. Yeah, thank you, Sabrina. Kanye's conducting a class in sociology. Yeah, it's wild. If he wears that Klan outfit out in public, fuck, that would be absolutely amazing. I don't think those two words go together. Dick bitches. That sounds like the way a third grader swears, Seema. Dick bitches. Dick bitches. I mean, who taught you how to swear? Punk bitches. Dick bitches. Dude, your swearing capacity is that's like first grade level. That's like something someone says in the bathroom in the first grade. Look at Devesh. I had a swastika henna on my hand for my wedding. It stayed on for 2 weeks. Yeah. And you're something like that, right? You're like something like an Indian dude or a Paki dude or something. Yeah, bitch dicks. Nope. That one doesn't work either. That's a foreigner's way of swearing, yeah. Crazy. You guys are crazy. All right. So we learned a little about the education system in California. We learned the word gook. We saw that treadmills are very dangerous. What else? Here we go. I should go pee while I play this. This is long.
This environmental question depends on, I think, a very flawed fundamental presupposition. It depends on the idea that carbon dioxide is pollution. And I would argue, after interviewing hundreds of scientists, including many who've worked for the UN IPCC, many of the leading scientists in the world, that the notion that CO2 is pollution is absolutely preposterous. We exhale about 2 pounds of it every single day. The proportion of greenhouse gases made up of human CO2 emissions is a fraction of 1%. The idea that that is going to destroy the planet or change the temperature of the earth is, frankly, in my opinion, totally ludicrous. But from a totalitarian perspective, if you can convince people that CO2 is pollution, there's no human activity that doesn't result in CO2 emissions, including living, including dying, turning on a light switch. Every single aspect of your life, then, if we submit to the idea that CO2 is pollution, then comes under the regulatory control of the people who claim to be saving us from pollution. So when they do these environmental studies and they say, well, your CO2 footprint will be smaller if you eat bugs or you do this, that, or the other, you drive an electric car, that doesn't show anything about whether that's going to benefit the environment or not. In fact, CO2 has actually been very beneficial for the environment. In interviewing Trump's climate advisor, Dr. William Happer, a physics professor at Princeton University, he said the Earth is starving for more CO2. And since we've had a little bit of an increase in atmospheric CO2 over the last 100 years or so, plants have gotten much greener, agricultural yields have improved. So I think we need to also talk about the fundamental presupposition here. Is CO2 really pollution?
The fundamental presupposition. Now this guy's talking my language.
If it's not, then all these alleged environmental benefits are completely fictional. And a lot of this.
Oh, thank you. Completely fictional. Jeremy, Sevan, you have the bladder of a 5-year-old. Listen, dude, if you could not sit in this chair for 2 hours and drink, I drank 3 cups of coffee while I was on the show. You would have to pee also. Mr. Scott, Public school curriculum is garbage, but it's worse at universities and colleges because the professors have tenure and whatnot. How would I be dehydrated? Explain that to me. How would I be dehydrated? I filmed this movie called Desert Runners. And on the shoots, and I spent on 4 different times throughout the year, I spent 2 weeks in the desert. So I filmed in the Sahara for 2 weeks. I filmed in the Atacama for 2 weeks. I filmed in the Gobi for 2 weeks, and I filmed on Antarctica for 2 weeks. You're going to say, how's Antarctica a desert? They claimed it was a desert because it had like they measured deserts based on rainfall. So they call the race the 4 deserts. If you do all 4 races, you get some 4 desert jacket or some shit. And I guess Antarctica doesn't get a lot of rain, so they call it a desert. But I remember when I was in the Sahara, which is just what an incredible desert. I did some of the filming there barefoot. There was this one section of the race where they ran through. It was miles and miles, and the ground was when you looked at, I did that part barefoot. When you looked at the ground, it looked like sand until you looked closely, and it was just seashells, billions and trillions of little tiny seashells, just out in the middle of the desert. They had this one area where it was just fucking like, sand dollars, those things you collect as a little kid on the beach. There was this one area where there were just fucking, as far as the eye could see, just sand dollars. It was so fucking bizarre. It was the weirdest thing. It just brought into fact that the ocean used to be there. But there was no sand. It was just seashells, tiny, tiny little seashells, like little snails, billions and trillions of them. Anyway, when I was out there, I would drink. What size is that water bottle? That's like the. It's not the gallon size, but it's the long, skinny one. Is that a liter? It's like pretty big, but not as big as a gallon. It's 1.5 liters. They're water bottles. It's a liter. Let me look up liter water bottle. My wife says it's 1.5 liter water bottle. Yeah, maybe it's 1.5 liters, 32 ounces. Desert Runners is available on YouTube. Oh, it is? No shit. It's more like Sebi has cortisol and insulin issues. Great, thanks. Anyway, I would take one of those water bottles and I would get those I had those Starbucks Insta coffees, and I would put it's supposed to mix it like with 12 ounces of water, but I mixed it with like 3 times the amount of water, right? And I would just drink that all day. I would sip that all day. And the producer of the movie was like, "Hey, dude, you need to drink water." I'm like, "What are you talking about? I'm drinking water all day." And they're like, "No, that's coffee." I'm like, "No, this is all. It's coffee, but it's also water. What do you think coffee is? It's water." Oh, quart? You think it's a quart? Quart water bottle. Let me see. It's definitely images quart water bottle. No, it was more than a quart. Definitely more than a quart. They were those big ones. Can't find a picture of it. Half gallon? I don't know. It looked like a half gallon. 1 liter, 750 milliliters. How is one really? Why wouldn't it be 1,000? Why wouldn't a liter be 1,000 milliliters? Doesn't even make sense. Yeah, it was 99%. Yeah, it's water. Oh God, this stupid old argument. Yeah, and it's the difference. This is going to be harsh, but I think it's the difference between men's brains and women's brains. But it also goes back to naming is the origin of all particular things. It's like how people are. It's how people are confused by their own words. Like, how much of, I asked her, I'm like, how much of this powder do you think I'd have to put in there before you called it a coffee or you called it water? And I was trying to explain to her, like, hey, dude, it's just water with caffeine in it. It's like so much fucking water. Bean water. There you go. For those of you who are concerned, I don't have any bladder issues. I don't have any insulin issues. I'm a fucking walking paragon of health. Except for my gunt. I'm a freak. Can't help it. I got Armenian genes. You convinced me. Thank you. Do it. Sit in a chair. I mean, listen. So this is what happens. This is what happened this morning. I got up at 6. I took a piss. I woke up. I don't get up in the middle of the night to pee. I got up at 6. I took a piss. It's so fun. It's so fun being me and waking up in the morning and having a hog like mine. I just love seeing my hog. So crazy. Anyway, I walk over to the bathroom. Fucking smile at that fucking tubesicle meat stick. Take a piss. Actually, you know what I do before I take a piss? I get up, I start up the coffee machine. Then I walk over, then I turn the Wi-Fi back on my phone because I turn the Wi-Fi off at night. On my phone, I don't want to make any noise. And then by then I really have to pee. So then I go over and take a piss. And then I drink a cup of coffee while listening to the Sermon on the Mount. You lost audio? No, still got audio. And then I drink a cup of coffee, and then I shower, and then I come back to my computer and I'm like air drying, right? I've dried myself off with a towel, but now I want to get a little air drying, like make sure all that fucking water gets off my pubes and my body, and it's like drying. I'm walking around the house naked. And then I see my wife and I hug her, push my meat stick up against her. Then I come back to my computer and I put a link. I send the link to the guest. And then I make another cup of coffee and I sit it down at my desk. And I go get dressed. By now I've air dried enough. So like all my hairy ass is like, hopefully most of the water's like dried. And then during the show, I drink that cup of coffee and then 2 more cups of coffee. Keep going. I'm almost there. That's it. Yeah. And I do the show. I always wear one. I have like 15. I have 15 shirts like from Vindicate. I usually put on one of those 99% of the time. I put on these underwear that I've had the same underwear for 10 years. I've shown you guys these before. I remember when I used to pump underwear. Let me show you the kind of underwear I wear. It's so fucking embarrassing. This is the most embarrassing thing I do. I wear these underwear. Let me see if I can go to wear pump. I wear these underwear. These. I think they must be made of plastic because I've had them for just feels like 15 years. I don't wear those kind. I don't wear those kind with that weird strap like that. I wear more like let me show you which kind I wear. Load more products. I wear the ones that I wear like these kind right here on the left. Yeah, gay as fuck. Hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. I would wear these. I'd rock the shit out of these. I have like 30 pair of these. I don't have any with those funky prints. Most of the underwear I wear are black. I don't want to see any poop stains on them. And then I pull, and then I wear, let me show you what, I wear, let me see if I can find a 32 heat, thermals. Is that what these are called? Oh, is this it? 32 degrees. Yeah, and then I have like 10 pairs of these. Maybe more. Who knows? They come in 2-packs. I wear these, and that's it. That's all I'm wearing. I just wear the underwear. Now you know my whole thing, my whole shtick. That's my outfit. And then when the show's over, before I leave, if I'm going to leave the house, I'll just put on a pair of joggers. So I look like a grown-ass man always going out in my pajamas. And since I've been working out so hard, when I was working out like crazy, I was taking all that creatine and Vitarga and all that shit, and all my clothes were getting so fucking tight. My joggers started looking like I was wearing Lululemons outside. Looked like fucking Pee Wee Herman. But now that I'm not working out as much, my back got all fucked up. I'm like, they kind of look like joggers still. I get the joggers from Born Primitive. And how I found those joggers was I was sharing a house. I was somewhere where I was sharing a house with JR, and somehow his pants ended up in my luggage. And when I got home, I started wearing them. I'm like, oh, I'm going to switch my whole outfit to these. So that's it. And then I usually change my clothes like 3 times a day. Exact same outfit. Yeah, I probably change I always travel with underwear, long johns, and clean joggers. Always, no matter where I go. That's what I do. That's, you know what I mean? If I do anything that's like remotely causes any sweating, I change my underwear and change my joggers and my shirt. I just change my clothes like 3 times a day. My poor wife, I'm like always doing the fucking wash. You found pants in your luggage and you decided to put them on. Yeah, I did. I didn't even know they were JRs. Oh, shit. All right. Now I have to drop a deuce, Jeremy. All right, guys. Thank you. What is today? Today's Monday. Oh, there'll be a Dave Castro Weekend Review today, so I guess I will be seeing you guys again today. Thursday is going to be crazy. Thursday is big travel day for me, and it's also the Open. I'm not sure what's going to happen. Thursday, I'll probably do a show Thursday night. There will be 2 shows, of course. There'll be the morning show with, I think we're going to have Dallin Pepper and Kevin Ogar on. And then there will be the show where Taylor does the workout, or Bryson. And then I'll probably do a show at night. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Remember, bitch dicks doesn't work. Love you. Bye.